Welcome to Coaching in Session,
where limits end and growth begins.
Hosted by Michael Rearden.
This is your space to challenge the ordinary,
unlock your potential,
and step boldly into your next chapter.
Your mindset journey continues.
Welcome, Silvia Rizzo, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Hope you too.
Oh, yes. Today, we're going to be talking about your work. You're a life coach and professional writer. And a premise of our conversation is going to be talking about leadership and decision-making under pressure today. Because when it comes to being a leader, everyone sees it as an easy task that anyone can do until you're walking in those shoes. People don't know the high stress, the high input that is going to be necessary from a leader, from a founder, from a CEO. All of these titles are basically very, floral, meaning it's very nice and it's very pretty. And a lot of people, they want that for themselves until they have to have that work for themselves. And many people, they'll get into that role, they'll learn that that role is not for them, or they will learn that it wasn't as easy as it looked. But just because you're in that pot and the water is boiling, it doesn't mean that we can't learn to thrive in that environment. So we're going to be talking about that today. But before that, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and of course, how you help people?
Yeah, of course. I'm Silvia Rizzo, and I'm an Italian dressage rider, horse rider. And I was lucky enough to develop, which is my passion, so horse riding, into my work. Besides that, I run my own company, which is called Off Marabunta. And in that, I do life coaching. I develop projects with high fashion brands and with sport brands. So I'm doing quite a lot of things, and yeah, that's me.
Okay. There's different parts of the world that many people don't even think about in their day-to-day business. So, for example, if you're in Canada, you're thinking about Canada. If you're in Mexico, you're thinking about Mexico. If you're in Italy, you're thinking about Italy. And people don't necessarily see the world for what it is, vast and huge and big. And what happens is people, they become so minute in their thinking. They think only like an American. They think only like someone who's in South America. They think someone who's like an African, someone living in Africa. And this doesn't broaden their thinking. But then again, if you go to certain places, certain regions, certain parts of the world, hard work is something that is a day-to-day life for them. They go, hard work is easy for me. It's not something where I shy away from, where here in America, I can attest that there are so many people who shy away from hard work, especially with the newer generation today. They don't want to do the hard work. They don't want any pressure at all. They want easy street, easy road. And my question to you is, do you see a difference in working with people where you are and maybe around the world, or just from speaking to people from around the world, the difference in their leadership ability and authority?
Yes, I do. Of course, I met in my life a lot of people that are just, happier to stay in a comfort zone. So not risking anything, not step up. And I just think it's a pity, because I do believe that we all have potentials. We do all have possibilities. It's just in ourselves, the ability to grab them and to step forward. So as I see, it's something that I have in my DNA. So I always like to step up, to reach goals, to deliver not just good results, but memorable. And that's the way I am. And probably because I develop all my skills and my abilities in a high sport environment, that's, when mistakes are visible under the eyes of everyone, and then I'm not scared to face new challenges and to face new opportunities. I'm just there, and I have the fire that it's just boiling inside me, and just give me the go to go.
Yeah, I think of what you said about DNA, because it's funny, because I thought about this yesterday, where I said someone might blame their DNA. They might blame their circumstances for where they are. Oh, I'm just this type of person. I was born this way. And I was thinking, what are the limiting factors to DNA? And I was thinking maybe the color of your eyes, maybe the color of your skin, even though we can get surgeries now, but just thinking like the limiting factor is your height and basically like some features, like facial features, things along those lines. And I was like, basically, that's it. And all of that's superficial. So if we wanted to be successful, that's not part of our DNA. If we wanted to, be more active in our day, it's not part of our DNA. Now, I will say that it can become part of our DNA, right? Because when we're born, we have all of these options, all of these capabilities. We have all of these pathways forming. And many people, they just find one singular path. They just find one mindset and they say, well, this is my life, right? Very similar to how you said, like the comfort zone. And this is where people feel comfortable. They feel like they can survive. They feel as if they're
Yes,
happy to a certain
survive is the
extent.
correct word. Right.
hmm
Yeah.
And from there, it's other people looking at them, especially like when you're in leadership, you can see a worker, you can see somebody, you can see all of their potential, but yet they're not hungry for it because they have this mindset of, I'm just this person that I am.
Yeah.
This is my DNA,
Yeah.
this is my mindset, and all this can be changed. So with that being said, are there ways that you help people or that you help coach people from that lower level way of being and thinking and living into a higher frequency?
Yes. Also, because it's something that I really like. Also, when I deal with my team, I
hmm
really like to show them their potential, but not under pressure or something pushing them. No, no. I just, I enjoy to put them on their own path and let them see by themselves their potential and what the opportunity they can have. But of course, we can meet sometimes people that they are just scared, maybe, to face new challenges because maybe they are just scared to fail. But that's something, it's a pity, in my opinion, because I do believe that we should always try at least one or maybe also twice. Also, because, I think that the real courage is not doing the first step, but it's doing the second one after you fail the first one. So I strongly believe that, and I really enjoy to put all the people that I can deal with, to put them on a path and show them what they are capable of. And I just try to convince them, but in a nice way, that they can do it, that they can try. Because I think that as I said it before, we all have potentials, and it's nice when you have around leaders that or people also in our normal life that they can just put you in a way in which you can trust and you can just do the first step and then the second step. And as I said before, if it's going to be a mistake, a failure, whatever, just find the courage in yourself to do the second step, and then you can succeed.
It's very true. I know sometimes people, they'll try once, maybe they'll even try twice, and they go, this is just not meant for me. And it's easy to write something off in your life.
Yeah.
But I say the things that are worth the battle are going to require you to go to war. It's not going to be easy some days. Some days, even for me, is an uphill battle. And I might ask myself, why am I doing this? And I know the answer is because I have no choice. In my head, I give me that mindset. There's no choice for me, right? Of course, we know when we wake up, we have a choice. We have a decision to make. Are we going to, do something that's going to change our life? Or are we going to do things that just keep us where we are? Maybe we could do things that are like more negative, like drinking alcohol and drugs. And then we start to go downhill. We don't want that, right? But most people don't wake up in the morning saying, all right, I'm going to go make my day crap today. And, I'm going to do all the wrong things and I'm going to be in a worse spot than where I started. I don't think people have that conversation. I think a lot of people, they wake up and they have this dream for, can I make it through today or can I be better in this day? I think that's really where it is. And when they don't become purposeful in their morning, meaning like their alarm comes on and they go, oh man, the alarm's going off. I'm tired still, right? I'm just drained and I just want 5 more minutes of sleep. That's why they developed the snooze alarm. They hit the snooze button, and the snooze button is probably the most dangerous thing in your house. Okay. Forget the knives, forget the fire. It's the snooze button because it trains you to think in a certain way. I have time. And I wanted to talk to you about time. I wanted to talk to you about this idea of the perfect time. There are so many people who wait for the perfect time. They say, oh, this won't work for me. No, like it's not going well today. It's too early in the morning. It's too late in the evening. I'm not feeling good. It's always an excuse when it comes to the timing of when they need to take action. And I wanted to get your perspective on this idea of the time to take action.
Well, there is never a perfect moment. We have to be aware of that. We have to accept that because we will never have all the informations before stepping on, before taking a decision. So this is something that we have to accept. So there is always a dose of risk that we have to take. We are human. We can't predict the future. We can't have all the data in front of us. So anytime we have to make a decision, we have to keep this in consideration. And also, when we take a decision, that we have also to take in consideration the trade-off. Because anytime we are going to move in a certain direction, we are postponing something else. And it's quite interesting that the comparison you used for the alarm. And, to train myself, well, I don't have to oblige myself to do something, but in order to be disciplined, I never put an alarm, never ever in the morning, because my body is, how can I say, is used to get up at a certain time. I want that my body reacts by itself without someone that is imposing me a time to get up. No, I know that I have to get up at 6 o'clock, and usually 5 minutes before 6 o'clock, I get up. So I don't have the stress of alarm clock. And when I open my eyes, I watch the time and it's okay. And then I just get up. So also the alarm clock, it's a really good example because, when people are just, I wouldn't say that they are lazy, but I would just use the word that they are comfortable. So there is a alarm clock that is going to wake me up, and then I can postpone. And this is something that we can see also in normal life. Yeah, I can do later. But life is only one, and time is running, time is passing. And it's, in Italy, we say, train doesn't pass twice, or train doesn't stay in the train station too much longer for you to wait. So, also these are possibilities and occasions that they are just passing through in front of us. And if we are not able and we don't have the fire to catch them, we are just losing. And I can understand that for some people say, whatever is not done for me. No, it's not true. I do believe that we should all try to do it because you never know how it's going to happen. Maybe it's going to be better than what you are expecting. So I'm asked, what is going to be better than what you were expecting? And you just didn't take the chance. That's a pity.
Yeah, I think of just how many people don't realize that there's a better view at the hotel, right? And hotel can be the figurative metaphor for life.
Yes.
Think of it this way. You go to your favorite place in the world and they have different views in the windows at the hotel. You have one facing like the beach or your favorite scenery. So maybe you like the mountains, you don't like beaches. So you like the mountains, you like the beaches, whichever is your favorite, right? That's one of the views. Then you have one view that is going to be looking down at the front of the hotel where you see cars coming and going. You have another view that is directly in front of another building. So the only thing you see are going to be bricks. And then you have one more view, and the view can be looking into a parking lot where all the cars are parked, right? So it's just a lot of mess, right? So maybe you like the cars, maybe you like looking at the bricks, right? Maybe you have that thing going. Maybe you like to be nosy and see people coming and going. Or maybe you like to see your favorite view, whichever one you chose, is the mountains, the beaches, whatever it be, right? So we all have that ability to say, I want this room. Okay. I want to be here. I want to look at this view. And many people, they will just go to the hotel. They'll say, hey, I need a room. The person doesn't know them. Life doesn't know them, right? That's the person checking them in. And they go, okay, well, we're going to put you in room 3A, and 3A is looking at the cars. You're like, well, that's not what I want to look at for the rest of my life or my stay here. I want to look at the beach. I want to look at the mountains. I want to look at what I want to look at. Because one of those four that I said, you're going to gravitate toward. You're going to say, I want this view versus that view. And in life, we have that same feeling of we would rather this than that. Because we can tell that's the truth when when we start to put in figurative thinking or lucky thinking, like you go to a casino, you play blackjack or poker or something, and then you win big, you get all this money. Oh my goodness, I got all this money. I'm going to start to live different. You win the lotto. Oh my goodness, I'm going to start to live different, right? That's just showing you or the world that your current lifestyle was not it, right? You wanted to change. Versus if you are already living in your lifestyle, not much is going to change. The money that you would get, you would just start to do more of the things that you have already been doing. If you have been generous, you will start to give more generously. If you were traveling, you would travel more. If you were, a potter, you will make more pottery or something along those lines, or an artist, you would do more arts. This is just to say, are you living in your purpose? Are you living in your potential? And one of the things I find that when people are stuck in a version of themselves that they don't know what they want, or they just allow the world to give them what was given to them rather than them making the choice, they don't truly understand their power. And the power is, I can live the life that I want right now. And I'm not talking about a lifestyle that is beyond you, because I think there's a lifestyle that you can be living right now. And then there's a lifestyle that can be beyond you, because if you want to go out to restaurants and spend $75,000 a year because you want to go to all the 5-star restaurants, then you need to be in a different bracket. However, you can still go out to eat to good restaurants. Think of it like family restaurants, and you can spend maybe $20,000 a year doing that. So there's a $50,000 gap there for what you want, or like $55,000 gap there for your dream lifestyle to the lifestyle that you're living, right? You just continue to do what you want. And so what is your recommendation for someone to live within their means, but then to work toward the lifestyle that they truly want to attain or reach?
Well, as I said, I do believe that anyone should try to step out from the comfort zone in which they are living, and also taking the time to understand the opportunities that are in front of them. So I do believe that a lot of people are just, without going deep down in the details and everything, they are just staying on the couch and say, "Ah, yeah, maybe I could do that, I could do that." Yeah, but they don't even take the time to not only to try, but to understand what the possibilities could be. So this is again something that it's a pity to see, because we all can be better. We can all try to do something new and something good for ourselves. So I'm not saying that, from the basic level, you can jump up immediately like this. You can do steps that allow you to become what you really want and what you really like. Because a lot of people, I do believe that they just feel safer in their comfort zone. So they don't want to out from there. But as I said, we are all human. We can make mistakes. So no matter what, we can just try. But, the important thing is how you react when you do a mistake. That's something really important for me. Because if you take it like personally, emotionally, that you try to protect your ego, that you try to blame someone else, you try to find excuses or over explain yourself, in this case, you can step into the second mistake, which is when you lose credibility. But doing a mistake, it's never something bad or never to be seen like a failure, but it's something that we can learn from. Thanks to the mistake, we can redirect our path, our new way of interpretation and new way to reach our goal. So, the important thing is that anytime we make a mistake, we have to accept that we did it without giving any, over explanation or overreaction. Fine, we did it. How can I solve it? That's the mentality. I do believe it's in the positive way, something that is going to make our credibility really strong.
There was many points in our conversation today where we talked about different type of data and opportunities. And this is essentially talking about, even if we gave somebody the perfect blueprint, we gave them a book. We said, hey, this is the book. As long as you follow this book, you're going to be successful. You're going to have the lifestyle that you want. You're going to have all the things that you would ever want and could dream of in your life if you so do this. And it's amazing how we can give someone this book and they'll put it on the counter. They'll put it on the bookshelf. They won't say, let me open up this book and let me start to dissect it, or let me start to live this book. And I just find it astounding how many people, they can get the answers, whether it be from a podcast or it be from a book, where they can say, let me level up, let me change my life. And I know personally that it's a choice, right? To say, I'm going to utilize this information, this data, this wisdom, and I'm going to put it forth in my life. The issue is, there is this idea of skin in the game, right? Where someone has to invest a certain level of something, whether it be time, money, whatever it be, whichever one is more important to you, into something. Rich people, time is more important to them, right? They don't care about money. They have plenty of it. Poor people, they think of money as that thing where if they have it, then everything will be good. So they will waste time rather than, use time to leverage to make more money. And vice versa. The rich people will spend money to try to save time. So we have two different worlds here where we have to adjust to. And this is just a lifestyle now, or this is this idea that we can change our scenario, we can change our circumstance. But I find it astounding how many people, they don't ask for help. They don't seek out a way to get to where they want to be quicker. Elon Musk will always talk about, if something is going to take 10 years, he would try to figure out a way where it can take him 10 months. He doesn't want to wait 10 years because he knows 10 years is a huge span of time. Yet someone who has a kid, their kid is 1, and you're like, well, I can't wait till they're 18, right? That thinking is, you're just allowing the years to go through your fingers, to slip by, and for you not to be pronounced in them. So this is this idea of, how can a person get more help or get more guidance, or where should they look to want to change? Is it a book or is it a coach?
It's the life. It's not a coach. It's not a book. I think it's the life. The experiences that you can gain during your life, the mistakes that you do during your life, and all the opportunities, the work that you do during your life, and the people you meet in your life. So I would rather put all these things together, and then you can build like a kind of structure that can shape you, that can make yourself and guide you to the success. When I talk about structure, it's not something that, you can just build up like this, but it's something that you can build up through life. And it's not done by routine or habits that you daily have. It's just something more deeper inside you. And it's done by your values. It's done by your experience that you have done. And it's what defines you, anytime there is a new challenge, anytime there is pressure, because, pressure is something that we live daily, but as not to be seen as an enemy, but something that reveals who we are. So I don't think that, first of all, if you have someone that really wants to level up and move and try to do something new, it's not something that you have to Google it or read a book or going to a coach, but it's something that you have inside. And yeah, of course, I do believe that they need some maybe little points just to understand which can be the path. But I don't think that there is someone that can teach you exactly, okay, now you have to do this, this, and that, and so you will succeed. No, I just believe that only experiences, good and bad, you put everything together and then you can level up.
Yeah, very true. I think of it as the person in the mirror where you will look in the mirror and you basically just ask yourself a series of questions. Who's in charge of my life? And then it's the person looking at you. Who's in charge of all the love that I'll ever receive? It's you looking in the mirror. It's, who's in charge of where my life is going to be in 10 years. You're looking at yourself, right? So it's you becoming real with yourself, saying that it is up to me, right? And this is not to say that you're not going to get those little areas of guidance from listening to podcasts or books, right? You're going to take what you can get. And then I always say the book that changed your life is not the book that changed your life, because there's going to be knowledges and wisdoms that are going to accumulate until one day they topple over. You're going to be like, I got it. I remember when I was learning how to play guitar in college, when I was just in the beginning. I was a little fledgling. I was a little bird, and I was just like trying to play, and I was not good. And it was so funny because I just had this dream of one day being able to play well. So my first guitar teacher, he basically told me the secret, right? And I didn't understand the secret. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me because I wasn't ready to understand it. And he goes, one day you will. One day it will all come hitting you like a train and you'll go, I got it. And I remember that day. It was like a Valentine's Day or something where it hit me and I was like, wow. Like the only thing I wanted to do after that was to continue to learn, to continue to grow and play. And this is, you had to be someone who wanted to find that, right? Someone can tell you the secret. Someone can tell you how they became successful. There's so many podcasts of people who do that. There's so many books that people talk about success, how to be successful, what is success. But it is all a journey that we have to take, right? And this is where many people, they fail or they fall short because they don't want to make any decisions. And that is, again, looking in the mirror, waking up in the morning, just understanding that where you are doesn't have to be where you stay. If you check into that hotel and they give you the wrong room, you could say, hey, I demand to be in this room, or I'm going to go to a different hotel. Many people think that they only can keep what they're allotted or what they are given. But life is so much more. And our conversation is definitely so much more, where there's so much room for possibilities and growth. And what I will love is to get some final words, some final thoughts from you, and then for you to tell people how they can reach out and find you.
People can find me on my website, which is hofmarabuntablog.com, or on LinkedIn. And what I can say is just one thing. Life is one, and just try to live it completely in the best way you can. Don't be afraid, because we can all reach what we really want. We need only the fire inside.
All right, perfect. And that is going to be hard to spell, so I don't want people to worry about that, because I'm going to put the links right down below. So feel free to look at what she's doing in her life, how she's challenging herself every single day, how even though our conversation was built on leadership and how to operate yourself in a day-to-day going, it's always nice to see someone who's doing it themselves. It's very similar to, someone who did something that was impossible once before. Everyone in the world will say, oh, it's not possible, it can't be done. And then look at the Guinness World Book of Records. One year, someone beats this, the pull-up record, they beat the minute mile or whatever it be, or the 4-minute mile, whatever. It's always someone raising the bar. And so today is an opportunity where you can say, what area in my life do I want to raise the bar? It could be everything, or it could be certain areas that build yourself up to becoming one day the person that you are always destined to be. So, of course, if you need help, if you need guidance, there's so many resources. And I'm sure Silvia can be one of those resources to just kind of instill some hope, some vision, and some fight in you, because so many people have given up on life. And right now we have an opportunity to build up and to start to live life fully again. So, Silvia, I do want to thank you so much for coming on, spending some time, and of course, talking about your work and how you help people.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your invitation.